Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So for this video, I will summarize in whole chapter 2, the configure a network operating system. So we have to open this. So for the start, configure a network system. Configure a network operating system. Every computer requires an operating system to function. So it means uh, every computer has a purpose has a purpose for doing something, and then you have to configure to work the function, so including computer-based network devices such as switches, routers, access points, and firewalls. These network devices use an operating system called a network operating system. So again, uh, the network operating system enables device hardware to function and provide an interface for user to interact. The CCNA course of study. So we will not read all of this. So we will proceed for the next slide. So we will not discuss this. So let's proceed. So here. So as you can see, operating system, we have shell, kernel, and hardware. So for the shell, the user interface that allows user to request specific tasks from the computer. So this from the definition of this the shell, so user interface that allows user to request specific tasks. So it means the user um, so allows user to request specific task. So it means that you will request a specific task from the computer. So next is kernel. Kernel communication between the hardware and software of the computer and manages how hardware resources are used to meet software requirements. So as I read, so communicates between hardware and software. So for the hardware, it is tangible. So it differs from the software. So software is intangible um, things. Like for example, software is application like that, and the hardware is some for example, is laptop. That's what you call hardware. So and manage how hardware resources are used to meet the software requirements. So let's proceed. So the purpose of OS operating system. So network operating system are similar to a PC operating system through a GUI. A PC operating system enables user use a mouse to make selection and run programs. So as you can see, use a mouse to make selection. So as you can see, we will not example this and then enter text and text based command and view on monitor, and then so we have a console, secure shell or SSH, and then telnet. So this is a physical management port that provides out of band access to a Cisco device. Out of band access refers to access to dedicated management channel that is used for device maintenance purpose only. So physical management port, so it will connect with the switches and the end devices. So secure shell SSH method for remotely establish a secure CLI or command line interface connection through a virtual interface over network. So unlike a console connection, SSH connection requires active networking services on the device, including an active interface configured with an address. So as I read, so SSH is establishing a secure CLI connection. So Telnet is an insecure method of remotely establishing a CLI session through a virtual interface like SSH. So here's the difference between the secure and telnet. So for the secure shell, unlike its console connection, SSH connection requires active network. So it can active um, networking services and devices, including an active interface configured with an address. It requires an address. So unlike for the telnet, unlike SSH, telnet does not provide a secure encrypted connection. So user authentication password and commands are sent over the network plain text. So let's proceed. So as you can see, terminal emulation programs. In figure 1, we have PATI. As you can see, we have PATI configuration. And then for the figure 2, we have TerraTerm. And 3 is the secure CRT. So here's the terminal emulation program. So let's proceed again. So here's the activity. We will not answer this because this video is also a summarize. It is reviewing all the important in chapter 2. Let's proceed. We will not play this video. So primary commands mode. So for command mode, we have two: user exec mode and privilege exec mode. So for the description of user exec mode, mode allows access to only limited number of basic monitoring command. So it is often referred to as a view-only mode. So as you can see, we have a switch is greater than and router is greater than. For the privilege exec mode, we have mode allows access to all commands and features. The user can use any monitoring command and execute configuration and management command. So let's proceed. So I will not play this video, but I will explain this um, global configuration mode. So to configure the device, the user must enter the global configuration mode, which is commonly called global config mode. So you have to um, config. You must call the command for configuration terminal. So as for us to call global config mode. So for the line configuration mode used for configure console, SSH, telnet, and aux access. For the interface configuration mode used to configure switch port and router network interface. So for you to configure some router and port, you will use the interface configuration mode, and then for the configure the console, SSH, and telnet and or aux, we have the line configuration mode. So let's proceed to the next. So basic iOS command structure, we have a keyword. save the running configuration file. So for you to, if you finished configuration, you have to save the running configuration file. So for you to save this, so you will have this command. So startup config, so and running config. So startup config, the file stored in non-volatile random access memory or VRAM that contains all the commands that will be used by the device. So it is the all commands that will use in the device upon startup or reboot. Uh, and then running config, the file stored in random access memory RAM that reflects the current configuration, modifying a running configuration effects. So, um, so if you um, finished and you have to save the configuration, you must type this: copy running config and startup config. So uh, if you type this, your file will be saved. So for the summary of chapter 2, so last, configure a network operating system. Cisco IOS is a term that compasses a number of different operating systems which run on various network devices. The technician can enter command to configure or program the device to perform various networking functions. Cisco IOS routers and switches perform functions that network professionals depend upon to make their network operate as expected. So the service provided by Cisco are accessed using command line interface, or what they call CLI, which is accessed by either the console port and aux port or through SSH or Telnet after connecting the CLI. So as I read, um, it is the best access for using command line interface is CLI. So it can access the aux port, console, and SSH or Telnet. So after connect this CLI, network technician can make configuration changes. So if the network technician configure the operate some configure terminal, or for example, for the router you have to config the router, so the technician um, can make changes to Cisco IOS devices. So in the Cisco IOS, routers and switches support a similar modal operating system, support similar command structures, and support many of the some same commands. So the next chapter explore the pag-move across the structure into packet communication. So this is the end of my video, and this is the summary of the chapter 2. And thank you for watching.